Yo, everybody. Sorry, my computer froze. It just froze, like completely froze. Which is unfortunate because I was streaming. And when it freezes and you're streaming, that's never fun. So I had to reboot. I'm still alive. Not for long though. I can't really do anything from here. All I can do is let out some rope so I can make it back to here, but that's not gonna help me at all. Oh. But yeah, thanks for the raid. Sorry for the crash. Looks like everyone left, so that happens. Somehow. Echo! Well, I think I'm gonna die now. That's what happens.
Sore eyes that shit is, bro.
So I died.
Rico, what happened to your stream, bro? Did it crash?
My computer froze completely.
Oh, damn.
Yeah. But I put up the stream again, but yeah. I suppose I could share the stream again, but you guys are probably gonna end pretty soon anyways, right? Oh wow, you're the only one alive? Oh no, okay, Lizard's still alive.
Peak.
Yeah, so I got stuck at the Python. I was real close. I got past it, and then I fell down, hurt myself.
Let me have one.
Used the gauze, but then I was too hungry to get up.
Oh, wait, there's 2 more.
You're good.
Oh, there's 3 more. Yeah.
Oh, nice. Sweet.
Is there another thing after this? Another level?
We just have to climb this, I think. It's so peaceful compared. Did they do this in case you had, like, no stam and they were like, here, fuck you? Yeah.
Probably.
Maybe.
You're like, oh, you made it. Wait, do we still have Bing Bong or no? No.
No, we lost Bing Bong back in the desert. Or no, in the caldera.
No, we lost Bing Bong,
Oh,
cool
they
guy.
have
Oh, there's flares here. Don't say shame. This is my first time peeking, bro. Cheers.
Ready?
Yeah.
Cheers.
You guys must have found some food. I don't know how you're not more hungry. I was starving. Although then
I found some
again.
trail mix.
Oh, did you? Okay. There's a countdown. Things are gonna blow up if you don't get out of here in time. Have a friend escape the island
Yo,
without
let's
you.
go. And yo, I just got escape the islands without losing consciousness.
Nice.
Yo, let's fucking go.
I died 3 times.
Oh, lit. What a sick hat. 2 new sick hats.
A new sash.
Oh, and a new fit.
I got 2 new hats too.
Yo, let's...
Most all J AO, how you doing? Got a lurk. Sadly, lots of work. No worries. Thanks for dropping in. Appreciate you being here.
Hell
Listen, I'm souped you could stay, too.
yeah, and right? That was awesome. Oh, God. Hell yeah.
Well, it was fun.
Did you guys get the achievement, too, or no?
I got an achievement.
Did you guys get the achievement for beating Peak? Like for
I got an
peaking?
achievement for being left behind when someone else beat it.
Oh, shit. Oh, I like the boonie hat. Let's go. That was sick. Good shit, yo.
Yeah, that was fun. I didn't do so well, but you guys did great. So I reaped the benefits.
No, that was sick. Good shit, everybody.
We did.
Watch me win. Now see me now. Alright, good shit, everybody. Now it's time for me to crash.
Yeah, same here.
All right, take care, guys.
Gonzo, see you tomorrow for some fun-filled nonsense.
Oh, joy.
I'm floating. All right, well that was fun. Unfortunate that my computer crashed. Right after I got a raid. What are you gonna do? I don't know. I'm thinking about doing like a dual PC setup because I've got another PC right here. And apparently you can do that. I'd need to figure it out, of course. But that might be doable. Alright, well, I need to use the bathroom. I realize that we don't have an ad break or anything like that, but it is only 1 o'clock. Rocco, hey, you're back. I opened your Peak stream and my sister grabbed me. You were down by the time I got back. Yeah, so my computer crashed. I don't know what's up with that. But I didn't make it to the top. My friends did. They made it to the top. I did not. I got stuck at the kiln part of the level. It was fun, but I died 3 times. But yeah, then I got raided, and then all of a sudden my computer crashed, and then everyone from the raid left. Or at least they're not. Yeah, they're not in chat. Even my mods left me. They're like, you know what? Rick's not that important. His stream's crashing. We don't need him. But yeah. So I haven't taken a break yet. I don't know how long I was streaming because the stream crashed. But I'm going to take a break because I gotta use the bathroom. But thanks for dropping in. Oh, rip, haha, take your break, take your bio break. You can fill me in when you get back. Alright, right on, cool. I will be back shortly. Okay, I'm back from the ad or from the break from my bathroom break, the bio break. But yeah, fucking computer just decided to freeze all of a sudden. It's pretty weird. That doesn't usually happen. I don't think that's ever happened, and I've had this computer for like 5-6 years now. I mean, I've had software and applications freeze and crash. OBS crashes pretty frequently. But I've never had it just freeze, like like nothing crashed, everything just froze. I couldn't like control alt delete, so had to hard reboot right in the middle of the stream. I was playing Hyper Light Breaker on Steam a couple months ago, and several USB ports shut down on me. Only time that's ever happened. Interesting. Did they start back up the next time you you relaunched, or did you have to like do something in the device manager to fix it, or did you get it fixed afterwards? Because that's freaky. I've never had that happen. Like, I've had devices stop working, but not like fully. Like, every once in a while I'll have a hard drive that like turns off and turns on or something like that. It has like a hiccup, but it never just like stop working. That'd be frustrating. My ports are always full. I've got a hub that's nearly full too. I guess it's a safety measure for overheating PC. Oh, interesting. Or CPU. I haven't heard of that before. That's interesting. Ugh. But it killed my keyboard and webcam. Yeah, that would suck. That would suck. Like killed or just... Okay, yeah, I was gonna say. Made them unusable for the time being. So yeah. I'm not sure what we should do. Like I mentioned earlier, I kind of have to make some store pages, and I don't have a trailer for the pet simulator. We don't have a trailer for Pyrotoad. We don't have a trailer for Frontrooms Normalities. Frontrooms Normalities needs a game page. I can show you that game real quick. It's finished. We made some final changes like yesterday, I think. And yeah, so this is GB Studio if you're not familiar with it. It's pretty cool. These are all scenes. They don't have to be this size, but for this game, everything is the size of the screen. If you wanted to, you could make like a really big scene. Well, there are limitations, but yeah. So basically, the way this game works is that this is a room, right? These are the four walls of a room: north, east, south, west. And then there's variations of each room. Like this room only has one variation, and this room has 4 different other versions. This one's got 3 versions. And so the way this works is that in each room, something's normal. Like here it says home, and this one doesn't have a skeleton. I need to look into it. I did some research after checking out your stream. Yeah, no, I love GB Studio. I've been using it for a while now, and I'm pretty happy with it. Let's boot the game. I can show you that real quick. It might take a second to build, but it shouldn't be too bad. It's got like a build cache, so after it compiles everything, if you don't make too many changes, it doesn't need to rebuild it. I was going to do like multiple palettes, but like I couldn't figure out a way to make each scene start on a palette. All I could do was like change one frame after it started, which was causing this ugly flash. And since you change scenes so often, it was like enough to like, you know, probably cause seizures and epileptics, because it was like every time you look in a new direction, you'd get this flash, and it just didn't look good. So we got rid of that. We did figure out a way to make these flash in a way that was intended, but I was having trouble getting that to work with the color palette, right? Because this isn't like the normal Game Boy palette. This is like a Game Boy Color palette. But yeah, here's some stuff that I did mostly with the gradient tool. You can see lots of layers of gradients going on and stuff. These are the jump scares. 10 different jump scares that just happen randomly. Each scene has like sound effects in it, right? Well, not every single one, but most of them have sound effects. Like the skeleton makes sounds, the tentacle makes sounds, the doors make sound. Like I said earlier, big fan of your art style. Well, thank you, I appreciate that. Yeah, I've kind of developed like a Game Boy art style over the last couple of years because of the limitations. All right, let's check Frontrooms Normalities. So, yeah, I don't know if you've ever played Zombies Ate My Neighbors, but I wanted to kind of pay homage to that. So I made like all these different options, right? EGM, sound effects. You can change the number of days, which is like the difficulty. You can turn the jump scares on and off. You can turn the light effects for the jump scares on and off. You can turn hints off, and there's 3 different songs. I like this one the most, actually. It doesn't really fit so much as like a like the game's theme. Where do you source your music? I make the music, if you don't mind sharing. I made it myself. I made it on stream, actually. Yeah, I actually made these all on my first try too. It just spent like 30 minutes to an hour or so. Probably yeah, like 30 minutes, and just made music. Nice. So yeah, this is the one that I like the most, but it doesn't feel so much like game music. It almost feels like, I don't know, Black Sabbath or something like that. The chiptune Black Sabbath or something. Not to talk myself up a bit, but I like it. But it sounds more like a rock band than like game music, so that's why I don't think it works as like the opening song. So one issue that sucks with this engine is that it doesn't handle sound effects very well in terms of it adds like a buzz. So like if you were to play this on like a better emulator or on an actual Game Boy, you don't hear that buzz. I don't know if you hear it or not. I try to minimize it as much as possible, but it's still kind of there, right? Yeah, I hear what you're talking about. Yeah, it's unfortunate, but it's nice that it comes with an emulator, so that way you can just like hit the play button kind of like in Unity. But yeah, I usually use a different emulator to test it with because it has better sound effects. So when I make the trailer, I'm going to use one that doesn't make that buzzing sound. But yeah, so those were all the... Oh, we just went backwards. These are all the rooms of how they're supposed to look, right? They're supposed to be all haunted. You work for a company called Hauntisher, and your job is to make sure that everything's haunted. But then when you go through... Oh, there's a jump scare. I went the wrong way. So when you go through, this passage will lock behind you. Enter. Yep. Alright, so now if you try to hit yes, it says nothing is normal the very first day. And you can't hit no because it's already hit, right? Are you limited to 4 audio channels from the old Game Boy hardware? Yeah. However, the sound effects use one of those channels. So if you use all 4 and then you have sound effects, it will cause the audio to cut out. Hey, Taco Crepe, welcome in. Thanks for being first. It'll cause the audio... Oh, and thanks for checking in. It'll cause the audio to cut out, and then the next note that it plays, it'll come back in if the sound effect is over. Everyone should check out Taco Crate, by the way. They do fantastic pixel art. They do like commissions and VTuber stuff, emotes, stream assets and stuff like that, but just fantastic pixel art style. They're also killing it on Twitter. Actually, I mentioned Taco Crate in your stream earlier, Bracco. Taco Crape's the one that's been doing the Pokemon art on Twitter, amongst other things, and just like killing it on Twitter, just like getting fantastic amounts of likes and retweets. Super inspiring. Very proud of them. And awesome to have them in chat. And as a mod. So now, sometimes things are normal, right? And it may or may not be normal, but there's like a 50-50 chance. Yeah, I love Pokemon and Twitter loves it too. Yeah, so Bracco was showing me on his stream that he has this really cool idea of making Pokemon with their trainers, but the trainers, get this, are cosplaying their Pokemon, and it's really cute, and I think Twitter would eat that up. OMG, Skelly. Yeah, you saw Skelly. Skelly's got a cameo in this game. That's the only cameo. It's funny though, there was someone on YouTube who kept asking me to put their YouTube avatar in the game, and I was like, no, that's not how this works. Then they came back a few days later, asked again, and I was like, no, still no. And then they came back a third day and asked again. I was like, you know what, I'm just gonna ban you at this point, because that's ridiculous. So yeah, we're looking for things that are normal. I haven't seen anything yet, but sometimes I miss things. Oh, that was a demon fish, by the way. I don't know if you played Demon Fish Dead Ahead. But yeah, I don't think anything was normal. Like I said, it's a 50-50 chance. And we got it right. So now it's day 2 of 10. And if you change it to 20 or 30, it'll change 10 to 20 or 30. I made a lot of the sound effects with my mouth. Well, I don't think I've seen the new jump scares yet. So there's nothing. I mean, they're not really that new. I don't know when the last stream you saw was. So much dithering. Yeah, lots and lots of dithering. But I did make them flash. So maybe you just didn't see all of them because there's 10 of them and they happen randomly. So sometimes even after 10 days you don't see them all. Even that was me. This is my mouth. I made the sound. I didn't pitch shift it either. I think I put some reverb, like reverse reverb on it. But that came out of my mouth. I was surprised. I was like, I'm glad I recorded that. Like my voice cracked like right as I was trying to do the scream. And it was just like perfect. Yeah, a lot of like inward screaming. I can't even do it, my mouth's too dry. Speaking of which, I should drink some water. But yeah, still not seeing anything abnormal. But I could be missing things. Oh, look at that. There's no hole in the ceiling. Usually there's a hole in the ceiling. So there is something normal. So we're gonna say yes. Yeah, so this is a reverse backrooms, reverse anomaly game. And I say it's reverse backrooms because it's a series of front rooms, right? In the back rooms, you're like stuck in the back rooms, right? And in this, you're stuck in the front rooms. Alright, everything looks good in that room. And the sound effects don't do anything. They're just fun. So that way if you like can't use volume or God forbid you can't hear, then you can still play the game. Yeah, there's the demon fish. It's funny though, because in the game, you can only see like its head peeking out kind of like a dolphin. So I made it like a dolphin with like spikes and talons and shit. But yeah, there's... Oh, I was like trying to turn around at the top. There's the hole in the ceiling that wasn't there last time. Being colorblind, I really dislike color-based puzzles. Yeah, that would make sense. One of those things that like, as a game developer, you kind of learn like, hey, I need to make something. I mean, you can use color, but you have to make some type of symbol also. You know what I mean? I didn't see anything, so we'll say no. And we got it right. We got the spider. Giant spider. So still nothing in that room. The witness had a whole section of color puzzles, almost impossible for me to do. No, that's sad. That's really kind of sad. Oh, there's no pentagram on the ceiling. You know, Jonathan Blow is really overrated. You know, and I don't mean to sound like a jerk. I only say this after watching numerous streams of his and watching a bunch of videos where they kind of expose him as being a jerk, because he's very like, I don't know, high on himself, right? He's got an ego. As much as he like pretends like he doesn't have an ego and acts like it's just like part of like being a good programmer. I'm just a good programmer, I don't have an ego. Like, sure, maybe he's a good programmer, but he's like very egotistical. And then for him to like think that he's such a good game designer and a good programmer, and then go and make a color puzzle without any like colorblind options, that's kind of shitty. No pentagram on the ceiling. 2 out of 10 Airbnb review. Yeah, usually people with high ego don't realize they're egotistical. Right, right. I mean, so the thing is that everyone has an ego, right? So like to say that like you're not egotistical is just kind of like you're not self-aware. But different people have different like inflation levels of ego, right? It's almost impossible to completely dissolve your ego, right? I mean, I'm sure there's some like Buddhist spaces where there's like no ego, right? But for the most part, as humans, oh, the doorknob's normal. As humans, we are kind of forced to grow into having an ego, right? I found elitism is pretty common in the gamer community. Yeah, not just in the gamer community, in the game dev community as well. Elitism is hard to avoid, unfortunately. You can even find it in art communities. Pretty much anything where like people like are striving to be the best, there becomes like there's best practices, and then they take it to the next level of like, you know, all the greats do this, and then it gets even to the next level of like, I'm so good that I've got skills that like people don't even know about, you know? And it's like, shit, bro, like, can't you just like be, you know, just be? You don't have to be the greatest, right? Just be. I don't know. So yeah, there was something normal. The door handle was normal. Even in the art community, but I've seen most of it on Facebook groups. Oh my god, Facebook groups are the absolute fucking epitome of fucking like people and AI. Like, I still have a Facebook, but I hardly use it. Like, every once in a while I use it to talk to like old friends or something like that, but that's about it, you know? Yeah, I don't mind the competitive side, but the gatekeeping and tearing down of others baffles me. Yeah, I try my best not to tear down others. I do sometimes have hypercritical feedback, and sometimes I feel like people are like trying to avoid that. But like yesterday, I gave some reviews on Game Jam games that I tried to be as nice as I could, but like it was literally hard to come up with nice things to say about the game. But you know, I challenged myself to come up with at least 2 good things to say in each review, and then even if I sandwich that, or if I sandwich a bunch of bad stuff between that, like, I'm not trying to hurt people's feelings. I'm not trying to like posture myself. I'm trying to show people like how to become better, right? And you're allowed to have your opinion as long as it's constructive with it, not just critical. Yeah, I'm almost always constructive. I mean, and sometimes there's, you know, it's hard to come up with ideas and stuff like that. But I usually, when I give feedback, I give it in a way that's just free of opinion and just straight up, this is how I felt during the experience. Perhaps maybe you could do this and that might affect it, or perhaps I'm not the right player for this type of game. You know, I'm pretty straightforward about that kind of stuff. Because I mean, I've had all types of feedback. I always say the same thing. At one point when I was testing with Retro Spaceball, and it was like really not very great yet. Not that it's great now, but it was like really not great. Someone was testing it, and they told me that the game made them want to kill themselves. And they were being facetious. They weren't really going to kill themselves over a game. But like, that was literally how they started the conversation. And my response to that was, I'm sorry that it wasn't good. Is there anything I could do to make it better or more appealing to you? And then at that point they opened up and gave me a whole bunch of valid feedback, right? So I'm not saying that's okay. I'm not justifying that. Hey, Seagoat, welcome in. Thank you for the bits. How you doing? That's playing Backpack Battles. Everyone should check out Seagoat, by the way. Speaking of great pixel artists, Seagoat has a pixel art stream. And yeah, they do commissions and a lot of cool stuff there. Fantastic work. And they also play some games apparently. So yeah, welcome in, Seagoat. Hope that the evening's been treating you well. We're just I'm just showing Bracco my excuse me, my Frontrooms Normalities game. So, oh wait, I was gonna say there's a hole. There's supposed to be a hole in the wall, but it's right there. I don't know if we're missing anything on this one. I think this is another no. You got it right. Also, yeah, I mean, they don't have to choose those exact words to express their feelings towards a game you made. Yeah, exactly. So when I do that, when I give feedback, I do my best to like try to say it in a way that's void of emotion, explains my experience without any real opinions, and you know, try to get like, you know, I'm not trying to like school anyone, but at the same time I do want like them to learn from the experience, right? So I want them to be able to, you know, be constructive with what I'm saying, and if they want to, you know, implement something that might be able to fix whatever it is that I came across that was an issue. But yeah, sometimes I see other people who are like, you know, just full of praise, and that's fine too, you know, because sometimes when you're even in a game jam and you don't really know what you're doing, you make something that's not great, you go around and play other people's games, you're like, oh my god, this is awesome, I love it, even though it's got some issues that a more seasoned game dev would pick up on, right? So you need a little bit of all of it, right? If you're getting feedback, it's good to have a variety, right? There's some good, some negative, you know, and just if you're gonna give negative feedback, do your best to make it, you know, palatable, right, and constructive. Next week, be doing a game jam. Well, that's cool. Very exciting. Heck yeah. Internet anonymity is a strong motivator for bad behavior. That's true. That's true. And honestly, I use my real name, so that kind of goes out the window for me. That is true and also sad. Yeah. Bracky's coming up in just a few days. Oh, cool. What seasoning do you have? I don't have any coriander. I have game dev seasoning. Many moons of game dev. No, I started my game dev journey. Oh, the coat. Look how normal that coat is. I started my game dev journey, well, I guess when I started college, right? Because I went to school for 3D modeling and animation. Technically, that's like a game dev job, right? Doing 3D modeling and stuff. So that's like kind of when I started my journey back in 2005. I didn't actually start doing 3D modeling until like 2007, which is a little bit funny, but it was a studio-based school. So they had us doing all of the hard classes first, you know, life drawing, anatomy, which we had to draw the entire skeleton life size from 3 different views, and then overlay the muscles in acetate, right? And painting and sculpture. And then we started doing, oh, and you know, regular like Photoshop and Illustrator and graphic design stuff. What do they call that? Where you do packaging, product packaging, stuff like that. And of course like fundamentals and like just a bunch of different classes like that. And then they're like, okay, well now we're gonna teach you how to do 3D modeling. And it was the same thing as like try to make it as realistic as possible. It was all like figurative art. But yeah. So that's when I started. I didn't actually start using game engines until about like 2010 or so. And then I was hopping around from game engine to game engine for a few years until I found Unity. And I stuck with that for a long time until about 2023. I started with GB Studio. So yeah, 10 years of Unity, and then I started using GB Studio and Unity at the same time. And then I've kind of phased out Unity. I'm planning on getting back into it though. Ooh, you can team up with the Brackies jam. Oh, when giving feedback, I always like to think about the quote, the same boiling water that will make a egg hard will make a potato soft. That's interesting. I'm not sure how that works. Wait. The same boiling water that will make an egg hard will make a potato soft. So I see what you're saying. So you're saying that if you give someone like critical feedback, that's the boiling water, then they might do nothing with it or become soft with it, or they might let that, you know, build into their repertoire and become a better designer, right? And I think that's true, you know. I don't know. When I was in college, we did critiques all the time. We learned how to do it correctly. We kind of learned how to develop a thick skin, and I don't know, I guess I became comfortable providing feedback and also giving feedback, and I think that kind of made a lot of who I am today. Yeah, I have a team. I was going to join a team for that one. Very cool. I don't think I've ever done a jam solo, lol, always with a team. I have yet to have a good team experience, been on that solo grind. Yeah, you know, Bracco, I feel that. Seagoat says that sucks. Yeah, I've been there. I did teams over and over again and had a rough time with it. I mean, for a long time. For a very long time. First, it was like friends, right? Right out of college. Friends are like, oh, you're making a game? Let's make the game I want to make. And I'd be like, all right, well, I'm just an artist and you're learning programming. And then, you know, they would split or whatever. Things would happen and we'd stay friends, but we'd stop working on the game, you know. And then it was internet strangers, and like for one reason or the other, things would fall apart. And then it was like Discord teams, right? They'd be like, oh, we've got this team, we need a 3D artist, you want to join? And they were like, oh, you got to take a test. I'd pass the test. All right, you're on the team. And then they would, like, that particular team, they ended up not paying a whole bunch of people, taking the art assets, finding a publisher after the Kickstarter failed, and then using the art assets that we made for free, basically, to get a publisher. I actually had to talk to the publisher and say, hey, you're using assets that weren't paid for. And they're like, no, we had the developer remove all of those. And I was like, my logo is literally on your website and I wasn't paid for it, so you're lying to me. And they were like, oh, okay. And they removed the logo, they removed the game for a little bit and had to put the game back on with a different logo. And yeah, because like I was kind of defending the whole team at that point, because no one else could say like, oh, I've played the game and that's my asset, because the game wasn't out yet. But we knew that that was the case because there was my logo right on the cover, right on the, you know, the thing. So it was like, geez. I'm saying that not everyone needs the same kind of feedback at the same time. I think everyone experiences it differently, and when you are in your journey matters. Yeah, I think that's true. I think that's true. But you can't control that as an outsider. If you're in a game jam, you're going to get feedback from all types, right? And you can choose to listen to feedback or not listen to feedback. That's actually an important skill. But you can't say, hey, everyone, I only am accepting nice feedback, or hey, everyone, I'm only accepting positive feedback, or hey, if you have something negative to say about my game, I don't want to hear it. Like, that doesn't work. And also, that's not going to make you a better developer. Did you hear about Bungie's marathon ordeal, where the game's entire aesthetic was basically lifted from a single artist? Oh, like the original marathon game? No, I didn't realize that. Oh, did I hit the button? I don't see anything. I could be wrong. Oh, I missed something. I wasn't paying enough attention. And then it tells you a hint when you get things wrong. They're not exactly useful hints, but they are hints. The door is locked. So then it starts you back over at 0. So anyways, that's the whole game. I've made a color version and then a non-color version. So that would be cool. No, they're new extraction shooter game. Ah, okay, okay. I didn't hear that. That's crazy. Isn't being bad at your own game a key part of being successful dev? Yeah. Well, you know, I think it's important to like make games difficult, but this game actually got pretty difficult. Like the first 2 rooms seemed easy, so I was like, I better make the 3rd room more difficult, and then now it's almost too difficult. But I think it kind of balances out. But also I made the different difficulties when I wasn't finished with that 3rd room yet. So like possibly 20 and 30 days is too hard, probably, but I don't know. I wasn't gonna like make it easier. I don't know. Maybe I should, but I think it's fine the way it is. I joined the late, missed the jam part. Yeah, I think anything where you're in online pace is you gotta take with grain of salt, cause some people will glaze you just to feel good and others will tear into you. Yeah, exactly. So that's why I try to keep it free from like any like hurtful words or emotional stuff. Like I try to keep it to the point, right? I'm not trying to like, you know, tear into someone. I'm just trying to say like, hey, I kept falling through the level, you know, like I'm not gonna say like this was the worst gaming experience of the jam, even though I felt that way. I'm not gonna say that in the comment, right? You know, but I will tell them why I didn't have fun, you know what I mean? Yeah, they had a huge plagiarism issue, which is insane considering Bungie is kind of a big company, I think. Yeah, Bungie's huge. Oh, by the way, there's an ad starting soon, and I already used all the snoozes, so sorry about that. I'm asked at basically every board game I've made. Yeah, I'm actually not very good at board games in general. But yeah, I've never actually. I think I made a board game in like 4th grade, but that doesn't really count. I've played around with Tabletop Simulator, but I've never actually like made a board game. Oh, interesting take. I've always been told you make games easy for you because hard for you will be too hard for most. So I do it a little differently. I make it hard usually first, and then I try to make it easier. But with this one, you know, I'm not really taking it that seriously. It's an anomaly game, so it's like if you wanted to, you could cheat pretty easily. Anyway, there's that ad, so we'll take a little break for the ad, and I'll be back shortly. Okay, so we should be coming back from the raid at this point. At some point. Sometimes it takes a little bit longer for some people. Let's see. Bracco said, seems fine. Crazy difficulty ramps were pretty common during the Game Boy era anyways. You're just being authentic to the platform. There you go. I started out by making board and card games. Make that bag. Hey, Kara, welcome. How you doing? I was playing Peak earlier. Then my stream crashed right after a raid, which kind of sucks. And then now we're just doing game dev stuff. I don't even really know what we're doing. I was just showing off this game, which is for a game jam that closes at the end of the month. So what, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11-ish days. And it's already done. It was kind of done after the first month. I've just been adding polish to it. But yeah, welcome in. But yeah, that's interesting, Bracco, that you started making board games and card games. I have a card game. It needs some work, but I actually have been going to these board game developer meetups where I live, like local meetups, and you know, just to try to make more friends, right? I'm going to the digital game dev meetups too, but they don't happen as often. I just moved to a new area, and I don't have any family out here or anything like that, so I'm just like, you know, trying to meet the game devs. I need to start going to meetups. I recommend it. If you're in a place where they exist, I recommend it for sure. Join the discords for the local groups, you know, join them for whatever, but the local, actually talking to people is good, right? I spend most of my time talking to people online, and you're in Seattle. Oh, cool. I know some devs in the Seattle area. Well, I don't know how close they are to Seattle, but the Washington area. Actually, I know at least 2. Yeah, at least 2 devs in that area. Cool people too. But yeah, there's definitely meetups in Seattle, 100%. Car says, I'm okay, just a bit sleepy still. Oh, you're just waking up, right on. Yeah, it's like 1:30 a.m. here. But I'm not super tired yet. I'm a little hungry, but I'll be okay. There's a non-zero chance I'm going to be in the main area in the nearest future. Oh yeah, I don't know anything about Maine. I've been in weird limbo all year. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. I know the feeling though. I was in limbo for like 3 years while I was at my mom's, living in mom's basement, while while life just happened and there was no control, and I just had to go with the flow, and saved a lot of money living there, so that was cool. And I helped my family out a lot. They were really grateful for me being there. But yeah, I was very much in limbo. I had no idea that I'd go to the dentist and they'd be like, do you want to make another appointment for 6 months from now? I'd be like, I don't know if I'm gonna be here 6 months from now. And I said that for 3 years. It was kind of messed up. I do have a goal to stay around 50 kilograms. I can't get lower weight than that. Honestly, I don't know 50 kilograms. I'm a pounds person. Let's find out. 110. Well, that's still pretty light. That's pretty light. I was 130 for a long time. And then as soon as I realized that I couldn't eat gluten, I started gaining weight. I made it up to like 190 pounds or something like that, 185 pounds or something like that. But then I started cutting it back down because I was like, well, now I've got a gut that I don't want. And now the gut's actually kind of gone away. So that's kind of cool. I have to overeat to even stay this weight. Oh, 70 kilograms is normal, right? Well, normal, everyone's different, yeah. To be honest, weight being normal depends on your height. Yeah. Yeah, for me, I was gluten intolerant, so I literally wasn't getting the nutrients to you know, to live off of. It was a bad time for me. I ended up like having chronic pain from it and like seeing a whole bunch of doctors. They couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. It was a rough time for me. I'm glad I figured it out for sure. But then it was a little bit of a transition for me because I was used to just eating whatever I wanted, like in all ways. Like I didn't have to worry about gaining weight. I could eat, junk food and not gain weight, right? I could eat gluten, right? I was eating gluten for every meal, tons of bread, tons of pasta. And now not only can I not eat gluten, but I have to like watch and make sure there's no gluten in the things that don't normally have gluten, right? And I have to watch what I eat because if I eat junk food, I gain weight now. So celiac, yeah. So technically, I don't know if it's celiac disease, but the gastroenterologist thought that it was celiac, and as soon as he like kind of convinced me that it might be celiac, I stopped eating gluten, and then all the symptoms went away. However, the testing for celiac disease is actually it gives a lot of false negatives, and it's actually really hard to get a positive like test. So they did like a biopsy, I think, of my intestine when I had the colonoscopy, and they didn't see any signs of it. But at that point, I had already stopped eating gluten, so you wouldn't show signs if you literally have to be experiencing a reaction from it in order for it to work, and even then, sometimes it's a false positive or a false negative. So it's just really hard to test for. But yeah. 3 days of not eating gluten and the chronic pain went away. I felt like a completely different person. It was insane. For years, it was just getting worse and worse and worse until I was starting to get paranoid that I had cancer. I thought I was gonna die. I was going to the doctors and they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. They were getting me tested for like tetanus and stuff. They're like, we don't know why your body hurts. And I was like, well, it does. They're like, are you sure it does? Because we don't believe you because you're not showing any signs of any. I was like, no, it definitely hurts, okay? They're like, well, how come you're not taking any drugs for it? I'm like, because I want to find the root of the problem. I don't want to just mask it with drugs, right? And I'm glad that I didn't just take drugs because maybe I wouldn't have ever found out, They said 47 kilograms would be considered underweight for me, so I'm barely 3 above it. Well, I would say focus on eating healthy rather than focus on gaining weight, right? I mean, yeah, you don't want to be underweight, but if you eat lots of vegetables, you're not going to get, flabby, but you'll also get the nutrients that are required, right? I know people don't like vegetables, but vegetables are actually really good for you. They have a whole bunch of vitamins and fiber, and that's great for digestive health. I know because like that's the problem for me. So like, yeah, vegetables are a huge part of my diet now. Also, they're one of the few things that I can eat without worrying about gluten, right? It's crazy. Why don't you just be an addict, a medical professional? Yeah, pretty much. Pretty much. I had some coworkers at my last job with it seemed obnoxious for going out to eat, but the foods they would bring to potlucks was always awesome. Yeah, so it is extremely obnoxious going out to eat. Honestly, I just avoid going out to eat. I just make my own food. If I'm like going to, like, there's a party that I'm gonna go to in September, I'm just gonna bring my own food. Because like I'm not gonna put it on them to figure out what's what's gluten free or not, and I can't trust them anyways because they don't know, right? They might. There's lots of people that'll be like, oh, rice is naturally gluten free. It says so on the internet, naturally gluten free. Well, unfortunately, yes, rice is naturally gluten free, but they process it in places where they process gluten, so it becomes cross contaminated. And unless it has a certification, then you can't trust it. And that goes with oats, which are also naturally gluten-free. Pretty much anything that is like combined with other things. Like if it's like raw ingredients, then you're probably okay. If it's like dairy, you're probably okay. But if it's like something that's mixed, even corn chips, some corn chips aren't gluten-free because it costs money to have it certified, and if there's any contamination, then they don't get the certification. So it's like some of them don't even try. Luckily, there are a lot of corn chips that are gluten-free. Same with potato chips. There are gluten-free potato chips, but not all of them. You just kind of have to worry about that kind of stuff because they'll be in a plant that's processing with pretzels or something like that. You know what I mean? It's kind of ridiculous. But yeah, huge pain in the butt. But yeah, I don't know what else to show everyone here. Kind of done with that. We don't need to save that. I guess we could show off Pyrotoad. We'll have to make a build, which will take a minute, but yeah, this is what Pyrotoad looks like. It's got 35 levels and whole lot of different mechanics. I did the art, sound effects, and some of the music. Johnny did the level design, the programming, came up with the mechanics. Basically designed the game. We did some things together, like we decided that it was a Pyrotoad together. He came up with the name, but I came up with the idea of doing a frog that shot fire. And then, you know, now it's a toad, but a toad is a type of frog. I think Stream Avatars is turned off. Yeah, we were playing Peak earlier. I can turn it back on. But when I play games, I do it through my my Steam Deck, and when you play a game on your Steam Deck and you have a game on your computer through Steam, it doesn't like that, so it like tries to crash one of them. It's kind of a pain in the ass. So yeah, I just didn't bother with that, and then I forgot to turn it on after, but I'm turning it on now. Thanks for pointing that out. Sorry about that. I know you like to make Abigail dance. You thought it was a Pokemon. You thought what was a Pokemon? The Pyrotoad? Nope, Pyrotoad is not a Pokemon. Pyrotoad, use Fireball. Oh, Taco Crepe's farting over there. I'd lose 15 to 20 pounds easily, but it did kind of suck. Wait, what did I miss? Honestly, for me, the best way to lose weight is just get the flu. I could not eat anything with the flu. Oh, that sounds terrible. I'm sorry to hear that. I'm glad it wasn't worse, though. Air freshener. No. Oh, yeah, no air freshener yet. Sorry. We do have a Silicon Valley redeem I made, though. I kind of forgot about the air freshener. I'll have to make a note of that. Toasty. We'll just put it above hats.
For the love of God and all that is holy, my anus is bleeding!
Don Hertzfeld. I'm not sure if you're familiar. Animator. Interesting animator. That's a blast from the past. Okay, Bracco remembers. Yeah. I like the old stuff. I'm an old fart, and my spoon is too big. My spoon is too big. I am a banana. Yeah. No, I'm a big fan. I also have, what is it, like, I wanna drink goat's blood. Pretty much everything from Rejected. Big on Happy Tree Friends. My era is Happy Tree Friends. I never actually really gave Happy Tree Friends a chance. I watched one episode and I was like, oh, that's over the top, violent, and gruesome, and it's cute animals. And I kind of was like, well, do I really need to watch more of it then? Right? Because you know, like, I don't know. I was kind of too old for it, I think, by the time I found it. Really like Flippy. I don't know Flippy. The end of the world still gets quoted among my siblings. I don't know that. What is that from? The end of the world. Yeah, kids shouldn't be watching those. But yeah, at the same time, it's like not really funny for adults, right? Because you kind of, for me at least, I kind of grew out of the violent phase. Like, yeah, don't get me wrong, I liked Vice City and San Andreas and GTA 3, but like the violent stuff of it kind of got boring. Flippy, hey, I like hugs and snug. Gunshot. Ah, kills everyone. Can I post links? Yeah, sure. But I do restream this to YouTube, so hopefully it's not anything that'll get me in trouble. How do I... Oh, I had Twitch open and it closed down because my computer just completely crashed earlier. Like mid-stream. Chrome didn't shut down. Restore. I mean, it's on YouTube, just a link to that video.
Okay, so here's the Earth. Chilling. Damn, that is a sweet Earth, you might say. Wrong. Alright, ruling out the ice caps melting, meteors becoming crashed into us, the ozone layer leaving, and the sun exploding, we're definitely going to blow ourselves up. Okay, so basically we've got China, France, India, Israel, Pakistan, Russia, the UK, and us with nukes. We've got about 2,600 more than anybody else. Whatever. Anyway, one day we decide those Chinese sons of a bitches are going down. So we launched a nuke at China. While it's on its way, China's like, shit, who the fuck is shooting us? Oh well, fire missiles. Then France is like, shit guys, we got the missiles, they are coming, fire our shit. But then let's have a nap, then fire the missiles. Meanwhile, Australia is down there like, WCF, mates? India, Israel, and Pakistan launched their shit, so now we got missiles flying everywhere, passing each other. Russia's like, ah, motherland! Then England's like, about that time, eh, chaps? Whatever. So now the US is like, fuck, we're dumbasses. Canada's like, what's going on, eh? Australia's still like, WTF? Mars is laughing at us, and some huge meteor's like, well, fuck that. So, now we've got nuclear winter. Everyone's dead except Australia, and they're still like, WTF? But they'll be dead soon. Fucking kangaroos. But, assuming we don't blow ourselves up, us Californians just have to worry about California breaking off from the United States to go hang with Hawaii. Alaska can come too. The end!
Yeah, I don't think I've seen that before. At first I thought maybe I did, but yeah, I don't recognize it. But yeah, thank you for sharing that. Oh, you don't need to watch it. I already did. Cars dancing. You don't need. Oh, yeah, I just read that. Oh, by the way, I saw your project, Rocco. A dynamic dialogue RPG sounds like a really cool concept. It reminds me a lot of Dwarf Fortress. Legends mode. Aqua Craves dance too. I was strongly inspired by RimWorld. But thank you. I've been needing to get it out of my brain for too long. Ooh, that's fascinating. I've been playing games like Dwarf Fortress, RimWorld, and Caves of Cud lately, and that concept hit close to home for me. I'll be stalking your YouTube to know more about it later. Yeah, Bracco streams as well. We can give Bracco a shout out. If I'm not typing on the wrong thing here. There we go. And we can give Kara a shout out too. She's gonna start streaming soon, hopefully. But yeah, Bracco is super cool. They've been doing a Game Boy-esque Unity game, which is very cool. Really cool art, really cool Unity stuff. Taco already followed. Yeah, I think you rated him a couple times. Yes. And then we've got Kara. So Kara's still getting started. She's preparing herself for her first stream. But go ahead and give her a follow so that way you're there when she first streams. See him is fine by me. Cool. Yeah, sometimes I just kind of default to they, them, because it's just what I do. It's just easier. They, them is acceptable though. Yeah, I mean it better be, right? Because it's like for anyone. Like you could say that about animals or plants or rocks even. You know, like you could say that about little green men. It just makes it easier. Thank you. Yeah, you're welcome. Understandable, huh? Yeah. Yeah. Anyways, let's make a build of this game so I can show you guys Pyrotoad. I'm also Chicagoan, so I say you guys for everyone, which is kind of not great, but it is really hard not to do that. And you people just sounds rude. Right? You folks sounds a little southern, but I guess where I'm at, that's what everyone would say, so. Y'all. Yeah, exactly. I don't really say y'all too much. But yeah, this will take a minute to build, unfortunately. I grew up with you guys as well. Yeah. I remember one time I was at a restaurant and they didn't give me a fork and we were like on the road and I was like, you guys got any forks around here? And they're like, you're from Chicago, aren't you? And I was like, yeah. Is it that obvious? They're like, no one says you guys around here. And I was like, oh, sorry. What kind of Coke you want? Like, what kind of Cokes do you got? Well, we got Pepsi and Mountain Dew. Like, wait, you don't actually have Coke? Are you team pop or team soda? I'm team both. I don't drink soda or pop. I used to say pop when I was a kid. Now I say soda more. I don't know. Either way, I don't really talk about it too much. Don't realize it till it's already out of my mouth. Yeah, exactly. Like I don't think I have a Chicagoan accent, but apparently like everyone who's not from Chicago can recognize that really quickly. So Apparently I have a Chicagoan accent. I don't know. I don't know. The Bears. No, I don't know. Also, I use dude as a general neutral term, which might not be good either. I do the same thing, Taco. I do the same thing, and I have to stop because some people aren't down with that. But there's no gender neutral dude, right? There's dude and there's dudette, but there's no like dudette or like dudo, right? Yeah. What cola do you want? Europe cola, American, but what kind? Europe cola. So you don't have types of cola? I'm confused. Again, I don't drink soda or pop very much. So when I was in Europe, I did not drink pop. I drank wine. I was drinking a lot of wine in Europe because it was Italy, and I hadn't stopped drinking yet. I don't drink anymore. We don't call Pepsi cola. What do you call Pepsi? We call it its own thing. But isn't Pepsi Cola Pepsi Cola? Europe has Fanta. Well, the US has Fanta too, but it's a different Fanta. They have different Fantas. Did you know that? I thought that was crazy. Like the orange Fanta looks completely different in Europe than it does in the States. Like it's a different color. Like it's like opaque orange, right? I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I've never had one. I've just heard this from the internet. Dudum is fire. Yeah, but I don't know if they'll get that. People might just be like upset. Yeah, but like if you want a soda in Europe, you can bet on them having Fanta. Yeah, I guess you're right. Honestly, like I don't even know what is available these days. I don't drink enough of it. Strangely though, I had a dream just this last week that I was at a bar, and it was really weird because I was in the past, and I recognized that I was in the past in my dream, and it was so far back in the past that I was still drinking, but I recognized that I was in the past, and I was like, well, I still don't really want to drink. But I was at a bar, and I was like, could I get a rum and coke? And I was like, you know what, just give me the coke. And then I woke up. It was a weird dream. Oh look, it's almost done building. Cool. Yeah, because in Europe they use sugar, I believe, and United States more like chemical stuff. Well, yeah, that's part of it, but also they use actual fruit juice, from what I understand, in Fanta. Or they're more likely to use actual fruit juice, at least the orange one. They use actual orange juice in the orange Fanta, where there's nothing close to an orange comes near our orange Fanta. So does your Vice. Right on. Yeah, I used to drink a lot of soda when I was in high school and college, and then when I started paying my own bills, I stopped buying soda. So somewhere in college there, I was like, you know what? Soda's not really important to me. I'm getting some stuttering too. Yeah, so that's because it's building. I mean, hopefully nothing crashes. But stream is laggy, only mine. No, it's because it's building. This happens every time. But yeah, hopefully it doesn't crash, because it did crash earlier. It looks like it's done stuttering, so it's probably about to pop up with the game at this point. Fanta has a bit of dark history in its origins. Oh, there's an ad in progress. Sorry about that. Well, the game is still building, apparently, anyways, so... I'm going to be like the 60-year-old that has been smoking their whole life. Oh no. Is this not working? Success! It built the ROM. All right. Well, when everyone's back from the ad, we'll start the game. I wish it was easier to know when everyone got back from the ad. It tells me that there's like 10 seconds left. Back. Well, I'm glad that you're back. Brocco, are you back from the ad? And also, I'm interested to know about this dark history of Fanta. And Brocco, yeah, you're back. Brocco, I'm sorry to hear that you're still a smoker. I gave up smoking. I smoked for like 15 years, and it took me most of that time to quit. I started trying to quit maybe a couple years after I started smoking. And yeah, I started when I was like 13 or 14, and I quit when I was 30. And then I vaped for like 3 or 4 more years before quitting that. Oh no, I don't smoke. I think Brocco was comparing smoking to soda addiction. Just that soda is this generation smoking. I didn't pick up on that. You know, I don't think soda's as dangerous as smoking, but it's definitely not good for you. Also, I'm glad to hear that you don't smoke. I mean, Fanta was created by the no-no Germans in order to be the leader of the no-no Germans. Oh, I didn't realize that Fanta was created by Nazis. That's interesting. Yeah, I had no idea. I thought it was like a Mexican drink, to be honest. Also, yeah, soda is so addicting. It is. But caffeine in general is addicting too, right? I drink a lot of tea. I try not to drink like a lot of coffee because like I get really into it. And then I like get headaches, and then it doesn't really do anything for me, and like I need it to live, and it's like a downward spiral from there. I start doing like espresso and like Americano and just like, you know, just lots and lots of coffee. When I was in college, I used to bring a thermos full of espresso to school. I'd finish that, and then I'd drink the 64-ounce Dunkin' Donut coffees. And if it was night school, I would drink 2 of those. You know, because I'd be at school all day long and night. No, it was created due to the U.S. stopping to export cola to Germany during World War II, so they made their own soda. Okay, I see. Well, that kind of makes sense. Oh yeah, actually, I might be developing a coffee addiction now. Oh no! Yeah, that happens. That happens. It's really easy. I drank a lot of coffee when I was on my little vacation in Arizona, because like I knew I didn't have any at home, and also I had to like fix my sleep schedule, and that made it easier. I will do stints of no soda, but generally some life things happen and my venting is soda, then I spiral out. Oh, I'm sorry to hear that. But I mean, it's not a bad vent, right? If it's just soda, like it could be worse, right? But yeah, if you're drinking like 5 cans a day or whatever, that's like not good, right? Coffee caffeine is different, makes me jittery, not a huge fan. I drink from it too. But yeah, I don't know. I personally, I've spent a lot of time smoking weed. That's my vice, but actually I've been smoking weed really since I moved out here. But if I ever leave this state, I usually smoke weed wherever I'm going. So like when I was in Arizona, I was smoking weed that whole time. When I was going back to where my mom lived, I was smoking weed the whole time. But when I'm back here, I smoke weed. So I'll go months without and then start smoking again, and months without again, start smoking again. And like I kind of want to smoke weed here, but I don't have the insurance in the state, and then I have to see a doctor and get a medical card and then afford the stuff, and it's not cheap, right? So like I'm kind of saving money by not smoking. But the point that I was trying to make was that smoking weed and drinking coffee is like such a nice thing. I don't know. That was my vice for a long time. And it's really easy for me to just keep going on the coffee, even when I'm even when I have the jitters. But you know, I couldn't do energy drinks though. Energy drinks was like at the top. Like I could handle like a Red Bull, but like only one. And like I couldn't do a monster. I'd have to throw away half of it because I'd be feeling sick halfway through it, right? And I'd be like, oh, I regret that. Never liked coffee, find it yucky. Yeah, you know, it's a bitter drink, right? So a lot of people, they put sweetener in it and creamer in it, and then it tastes, you know, a little bit better. But I think most people, they get addicted to the caffeine, and like when you drink it, it releases dopamine because your brain's like, oh, I know this taste. This is the taste that comes right before the caffeine buzz. And I like the caffeine buzz, right? Because it's a stimulant. And so it actually makes dopamine when your brain's like ready for that caffeine buzz and like, you know, enjoys that. Your brain will automatically wire the taste to the caffeine. Like one sip and you'll feel better. It's crazy. It's so weird. Yeah, and the coffee crash is pretty insane. Tea is definitely better. Yeah, coffee crash is like crazy. Like, especially if you're like addicted to it and you stop, you will be so annoyed with everyone. You won't feel good. Like, and then the smell of coffee when you can't have coffee is like, oh my god, I just want some coffee. And like, yeah, it's really messed up. But I find myself craving coffee at least every 2 days. Well, that's not too bad. My mom was really bad with coffee. She would drink 3 or 4 cups every single day, sometimes more. Never really less though, right? Even if she was like on the road, at somewhere else, on vacation, didn't matter. She needed to have her coffee. Her entire life, even when she was on steroids, you know, and she probably wasn't supposed to be drinking coffee. It was like a thing, you know. All it did for me was telling me to puke. Well, some people don't like it. All right, let's see what this game's all about. Retro, or not Retro Spaceball. I don't know why I said that. Pyrotoad. So yeah. So yeah, I made the audio thing. And then, how do you get back? Interesting. Is there no way out of it? Well, oh, I'm hitting the wrong buttons. I forgot I was on a different emulator. Yeah, and then we made the password scene. And made cutscenes for it. One day, Pyrotoad was chilling at his pad, playing his favorite video game, Battle Dudes, when suddenly he had the urge to go out for a night on the pond. But being a frog of style, he wasn't about to head out without his prized Croakley shades. However, to his chagrin, when he opened his accessory drawer to get them, he found it empty, save for a suspicious note which read, "If you ever want to see your Croakleys again, meet me at the dungeon of Weblock Castle." And I don't know why the audio is kind of glitching out like that. Usually it doesn't do that. Usually it only does it when I click off of it. I don't know why. Anyways. Computer's been kind of acting weird ever since it crashed, right? Oh, this is the new thing that I just added. Well, Johnny wrote this and made the mechanic for it, and I added the art for it. Tip, hold A to increase jump height. So if you don't, then like you can't make it back over this ledge. Or I guess you can, but it's kind of difficult. But if you do, you get like a whole nother thing. Ah, I missed. I missed the jump. That bikini frog poster. Is Mayo a password? No, Mayo's not a password. The passwords all kind of relate to frogs and the game. They are all words though. I don't know why it's glitching so much. It usually doesn't. It's gonna be hard to make trailer for it with it glitching like this. But yeah, the bikini frog poster. I was like, we need to put a poster on the wall, and then Johnny was like, should do a frog in a bikini. And I was like, if you say so. Hopefully it's not too sexist. Hopefully it's just more funny than sexist. I mean, it's just a bikini after all. It's midnight here. I think I'm gonna head out. Glad I was able to catch you and hang out. Thanks for the stream. Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you for dropping in. I really appreciate it. I've learned so much about you, Taco Crab. What do you mean? I'm just really into frogs. Yeah, I see you, Bracco. I hit the wrong button. Oh, I'm hitting all types of wrong buttons here. But yeah, this is the game that we're making a store page for, or I'll be making a store page for. I was actually planning on to do that on stream, but I'm not sure if it's gonna be a good idea with everything bugging out and crashing and shit. Like, look at that. It's like I can't even repro, but yeah, it's getting all choppy and shit. I don't know if that's like a OBS thing or what, but I'm using OBS. I'm gonna be using OBS to record, so I don't know. Probably about time for me to get a new computer. Oh, I like glitched it right at the wrong time there. Oh, I forgot to get the fire. But yeah, this is Pyrotoad. It's pretty difficult. It's not going to be a free game, unfortunately. We will have a demo, so we do need to start thinking about what the demo would entail, whether it's like the first 8 levels or what. But yeah, that's what I've been working on for like the last 9 months, just the art and the music. Maybe I've got too many windows open or something. Oh, excuse me. Well, it is getting late for me. We had fun playing games. I showed off some of my games a bit. You guys have all seen the Pet Simulator by this point, right? So, I guess we could take a look at the stats and see how it's doing. Don't mind sharing that. Oh, that's that. This one. So yeah, the new day starts at like 5 p.m. here. So it only got 3 views today after 5. But yesterday I got 18, 32 before that, 30 before that. Someone did donate like $2 or something, so that's pretty cool. If we go to analytics, we can see the browser plays. 2 people played it today, 9 people played it yesterday, 10 people played it the day before, 6 people played it before that. And then no downloads today, 3 downloads yesterday, 6 downloads the day prior, and 7 downloads the first day of release. Most of the visits, 12 of them, have been coming from the rating page for it. And we've got a whole bunch of comments, most of which I've responded to. And they're pretty good. Like, this person says, it was a bit confusing at first, but I could see this being expanded in a bigger game. A nitpick would be that it feels like bringing your pet to maximum happiness would take a lot of time. And they're not wrong. It would take you a long time to get it to the max happiness. But at max happiness, the game is kind of done, right? There's nothing else you could do at that point. And my goal was to actually make a game that was, like, really long if you wanted it to be, right? So, like, if you actually got into it and cared about your pet and wanted to get it to 99, then it would take you days of playing it, right? But you can save it, come back to it. So, like, kind of like a Tamagotchi, where it's like the goal was like almost like a daily check-in almost thing, right? Where you like check up on it, take care of it, put it away for a bit, and then you're like, oh, my Tamagotchi, I'm gonna check my Tamagotchi, right? Of course, with Game Boy, you can't just like leave it on. It's not like persistent like that. There's no time clock, so you can't even do like a idle game type thing. So I did what I could. Yeah, I haven't played Fetch Quest, but I might later. Want to record myself playing it so I can watch myself play it and remember my thoughts. Oh, cool. Yeah, I mean, if you record it, I'd love to see the recording. Or like if you stream it or whatever, which you're totally fine to do. I'd love to see the VOD. Yeah, like an extra goal for min-maxers. Yeah, exactly. What else did they say? Maybe the coins should drop more often, or the food and water should be cheaper. Also, I wish I could fight enemies in the dungeons with my pets, but maybe that's me being too Pokemon minded. And keep in mind, this person made a reverse Pokemon game, which was actually pretty cute. It was a little too easy and very short, but it was cute. It was a nice role reversal, and I gave them good feedback, and I did find a bug that I mentioned to them. And so yeah, this is how I responded. Thank you so much for playing, providing fantastic feedback. I agree, getting to full health does take a long time, though they do start smiling at 60 health. The coins seem scarce at first, but one unexplained mechanic is that when the work counter gets to 99, it resets and doubles your pay. It does this twice for each of the 3 pets. So what I'm saying there is that you end up getting a lot of coins. When you have all 3 pets, you get so many coins that you like have to like remember to spend them, otherwise it'll get to 99. I ended up cutting the turn-based battles because I couldn't get the text to do what I wanted within the 64x64 limitations. Also, it just didn't seem fun given how simplistic it had to be in order to fit. So instead, I opted for obstacles to try to avoid. I do have a GB Jam JRPG for Game Boy called Demon Fish Dead Ahead, where the main feature is turn-based combat if you are interested, though it's not very Pokemon-like. Thank you again. Well, what an original proposition, which is weird that they said that, because the first comment that I got was an interesting proposal. It's almost like they read that and was like, I'm gonna write the same thing they wrote. I don't know if it's on purpose, but I find the character too slippery in the dungeons, and wouldn't it be necessary to have some clues to know which teleporter to take? So I feel like they didn't quite understand the puzzle aspect of that, because it's like a guessing game, a guessing slash memory game, right? So like you guess, you figure out where it takes you, and you try to remember when you guess the next one and it takes you to another spot. It's not randomized, right? But there is like, you know, you don't know where it's gonna take you until you try it. Thank you for playing feedback. I was trying to get the player to stop after teleport. I couldn't seem to figure it out. When I slowed the player down, it felt too slow and didn't really fix the problem. Moving one tile at a time felt like too many button presses. I agree that it feels slippery and doesn't feel good when you hit an unintended teleport. Telling the player where to go would defeat the purpose of the puzzle aspect of the game, not to mention I can't think of a way to telegraph this on the Game Boy. Granted, it's not very robust puzzle system and more of a memory game or maze. Anyways, what I came up with the given limitation of the Jam and Game Boy, which was a huge challenge in itself. Mostly I just wanted to see if it could be done. I didn't spend much time thinking about if it should be done. Thank you again for taking the time to write about your experience. I was refused of buying a Tamagotchi in my childhood. Interesting concept. It took some time to figure out what to do, but it was nice. Overall, style is cool. Good job. So yeah, it is a little bit confusing, and I asked them to go into detail, and they said it's more about navigation on the map and pet screen. But probably it's me not being used to a specific layout. I think you can improve by making the level bigger, let them occupy several screens. This will give our air and ability to put encounters on each of the levels. Thank you so much for your insight. I could see how the pet screen layout might be confusing in navigation. That is a good point. Scrolling maps would be super cool. Not sure how I could do that in the 64 by 64 pixel resolution on the Game Boy, but it's a fantastic idea and worth looking into. Yeah, unfortunately, the way I did the levels, there needed to be like this big black background around each of these screens, which couldn't, like, it was like built into the art of the background, right? So if it scrolled with it, then you would see more of the level, and I had no way of covering it up. Because you can't use a sprite to do that because of sprite tearing, and you can't like do background tile swapping because you need it to be all unique tiles to do that, and when you're moving around the map, that would be like insane. Maybe there's a way to do it if you like hard code the engine, but yeah, I couldn't figure it out. Yeah, plus it might be hard to add extra detail with the pixel constraints. Oh yeah, that the art was hard. That was a difficult thing. But yeah, you know, I had fun doing the project. It was a challenge. I feel like I just finishing something felt good. I do think that that's valid feedback that people had. It wasn't perfect by any means, and I kind of knew that going into it. No one found the soft locking bug yet, so that's interesting to me. Because I was like, oh, I forgot to fix that soft lock bug, because I knew the fix for it, but it was like 10 minutes before the jam was over, or like 40 minutes before the jam was over, or something like that. So I didn't really have time to like rush and fix it, and then export it, and then export it for like through Godot as an exe. That would have taken me all of that time, and if I would have got it wrong, I wouldn't have time to test it, right? So yeah. That was referring to clues in which hole to take in the dungeon. Yeah, so the problem with that was that I don't know what hold you're supposed to take, right? So that's an issue. But then yeah, adding like a piece of pixel art, like what do I do then? Do I just like put an arrow pointing at the one that leads to this one? Because in a lot of these, you need to do multiple holes to get there, right? If I put a hole point, like let's say this one leads to there, like do I only point at that one then? Because it leads to that one, and then you're like trying to get to that one? I don't know, you know, it would take away from the puzzle, especially if like, you know, you start out and it points to this one, and then you go into that one, and then it points to this one, and you go into that one, and then it points to that one, and then you go into that one, and like you're there. Like, I don't know. I feel like it's valid feedback, but at the same time, I don't think they really understood like what I was trying to do, and maybe they just didn't like it. Maybe it wasn't for them, kind of thing. Yeah, it wasn't gonna be perfect. I knew that.